Hey everybody, my name is Akimbokomet and this is Blacklight Retribution. Today I'm doing a quick settings video so you can see why my game looks the way it looks. So, starting off with the video tab, you can just kind of at a quick glance see that I disable pretty much everything. This cleans up the game. If you don't have like lights flashing in your eyes and things exploding and going crazy everywhere, fog and smoke and just stuff in your eyes. If you don't have that, and your game's just much cleaner and, simpler, I guess, it makes it a lot easier to snap onto your targets and eliminate them, which is kind of the point of an FPS. So I disable, as you can see right here, pretty much everything in the Advanced tab. Notice depth of field right there is turned off. And everything else is disabled. Up here in the just regular video tab, all my texture quality, world detail, and that such is set to medium. I personally set that to medium. I'm running on a laptop. Depending on the strength of your PC, you can set that to whatever you want. And then DirectX 11 is disabled down here as well. Moving on to the audio tab, this is all personal preference. There's no real, secret audio fix for your game to make you ridiculously good at FPSs, unfortunately. I do turn the music off because I like to play my own music in the background. Moving on to game, the things I'd like to highlight here are spawn effects disabled. Gets you into the game a little bit faster. Not a whole lot faster, but every little bit counts. And then recoil reset here I have enabled. You can disable that, enable it, kind of do whatever you want with it. If it's enabled, your crosshairs will snap back to their original position after you're done full auto firing, or even tap firing. They'll continue to snap back to the original position. I have it enabled. I've tried it enabled. I've tried it disabled. I haven't really been able to tell a whole lot of difference between the two. So if you'd like, you can try both ways yourself and see what you like more. I leave it enabled because that's the default setting, and I can't tell any difference. Moving on, crosshair. Crosshair is pretty important here. I like the XY axis type crosshair. I don't put any more or less ticks than 4. I think 4 works really well. Tick length of about 6, that allows me to see it nicely, but it's not taking up my entire screen. Crosshair opacity 10 out of 10, 0 rotation, 4 tick marks, as I said. Colors are defaults. I believe gray is default, I'm not 100% sure. And then this little smart reticle that they give you, that tells you your ammo and I believe sprint and health. Don't quote me on that. Mine's I set mine to 1 out of 10, so you can just barely see it. Doesn't get in my way. I don't usually use it. I use the heads-up display instead, but it's there just in case, just a little bit. And then static crosshair. This is really important. I'm gonna flip here. If you can see. So this is with static crosshairs enabled. This is not the default setting, but this is the setting I use. As you can see just at a glance, it makes it a lot easier to snap to people. The little T of the crosshairs is locked, frozen in place, right in the middle of the screen. So if you say run around a corner and you have to snap to somebody and you have to fire at them really fast, it's really easy to find that center point, center it on them, and win that fight. However, if we flip over to non-static crosshairs, this is the game's default setting, static crosshairs disabled, we can see that your crosshairs are affected by the way you move. So if you move, you run, you jump, your crosshairs grow. And if you crouch, your crosshairs shrink. So I don't like this as much, because in the same scenario as before, if you run around the corner and you have to quickly snap to somebody and fire at them, and your crosshairs are as big as a house, then that's a little bit hard to do because you don't have that set center point where you can kind of return to home base, and you have that point there to lock onto them. So I use static crosshairs enabled because I find it a lot easier to aim and snap to people. Moving on, control. I'll just do a quick plug about mouse sensitivity and how FPS mouse sensitivity usually should work. Most people I've listened to, most people I've talked to, say mouse sensitivity for FPSs should actually be pretty low. You don't want crazy high mouse sensitivity for FPSs. What you want to be able to do is you want to use your entire arm in movement for your mouse. You don't just want to use little wrist movements, because your entire arm is a little bit more accurate, and most of all, it's more smooth. and when somebody's running across your screen and you have to follow them, you want to be able to do a nice smooth progression across the screen, get your bullets on them, and just follow them, track them nicely across the screen. So you want your mouse sensitivity pretty low so that you can use your entire arm in nice sweeping motions with your mouse. Then also another couple of things that we can look at really quick. I have my crouch toggle enabled, so I toggle my crouch. I have my ADS disabled, so I have to hold down my right mouse button for my scope. I personally like that more. Sprint toggle disabled, so I hold down shift to sprint, and HRV toggle disabled, so I hold down V to prolong my HRV duration. I like this because what I can do is when running across the map, I can just tap V, and it'll give me a quick snapshot of the map, and I don't actually have to like go V, tap it twice to get that snapshot. I just tap it once, gives me a quick snapshot, I keep going. And that's pretty much everything on the settings. Keybinds are default, and then yeah, this is just random account information. So definitely try different crosshair, static crosshair and non-static crosshair, and definitely try enabled recoil reset and disabled recoil reset. So that's my Blacklight Retribution settings. I also have a field of view tweak, that's why I'm back in this tab here. So the field of view tweak is really easy. I'll have a link in the description below to bring you to how to do the field of view tweak. Essentially all you do is you change the X snap to a Y snap so that your screen snaps to the Y axis, which will give you the entire screen, and then you can adjust your field of view to 90 and it'll give you actually something like 120 degrees of visibility in your X-axis. So that's why my game looks a little bit warped on the edges, a little bit curvy on the edges, because I actually have more than 90 degrees in my field of view. So those are my settings for Blacklight Retribution. Change anything you feel needs tweaking, play with things, change things around, get your game set up like you want it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the future.